place, gasping for breath. Partly from the exhaustion of catching thieves, partly from sheer excitement. What a thrill! Seeing the dense crowd of thieves before them, a deep sense of pride welled up inside both men. Facing the stares from surrounding passengers, they stood tall. As if to declare to everyone, "These thieves? We caught them." Passengers in the waiting hall, witnessing the scene, kept pointing and whispering among themselves. Who are these people? Why are they all tied up together? Didn't you see the police? They must be thieves, no question about it. There must be over 30 of them. How could thieves be this stupid? Hearing the murmurs of the crowd, the captured thieves hung their heads in shame. How humiliating! What a disgrace! If the anti-pickpocketing squad had acted together, getting caught might have been understandable. But there were only 4 cops in total, plus a commander who didn't even lift a finger. Where could he even go to complain about this? What was even more terrifying was that every pickpocket out on the job today had been caught, not a single one got away. Even the big shot who came to the bus station to train apprentices got busted. He's wailing and lamenting how unfair life is to thieves. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me recover my retirement savings, otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to go on living. The old man, seeing the group had caught a bunch of thieves, assumed his money had been found and kept bowing his hands in gratitude. Fong Ning steadied the old man and shook his head. "Old man, you can thank us later. Your money hasn't been found yet." After speaking, Fong Ning narrowed his eyes, his entire demeanor shifting abruptly. He addressed the group of thieves before him in a cool tone. "Who took my 60 grand? Hand it over now, and I'll consider leniency. If you don't hand it over and I catch you, I guarantee you'll regret it." These thieves had the audacity to steal from an elderly man. Fong Ning could barely contain his rage, and the natural authority of a leader surfaced uncontrollably. The sudden intensity startled not only the thieves but also Shuri-chan. In that moment, she suddenly felt Fong Ning wasn't a cop, he was more like a gang boss. Among the thieves, a man wearing a fisherman's hat kept his head down, blending into the crowd. Hearing Fong Ning's words, his heart pounded wildly, and he nearly blurted out a confession. But he quickly snapped back to reality. He was a Freemason, after all, and his martial arts training hadn't been for nothing. Even if they searched everyone individually, he was confident this big oaf wouldn't find a thing. With that thought, his nerves steadied, and he sank back into the crowd. After waiting a long while with no response, Fong Ning smiled, though it was a cold, icy smile. "No one's admitting it? Fine. Then I'll search each of you. Don't regret it later." The words had barely left his mouth when the man in the fisherman's hat took an imperceptibly small step backward. The movement was so subtle it would have gone unnoticed without deliberate observation. "It's you!" Fong Ning's gaze locked onto the fisherman's hat man instantly. Searching everyone wasn't really Fong Ning's style, he was just testing the waters. He hadn't expected the foolish thief to lose his nerve so quickly. With a cold snort, Fong Ning slowly advanced toward the man in the fisherman's hat. Seeing Fong Ning approach, the man in the fisherman's hat realized his movements might have aroused suspicion. He tried to hide behind something behind him. Fong Ning gave him no chance. He strode forward, grabbed the man by the collar, and said coldly, "Hand over the money. I'll only say this once." The baseball cap man, realizing he'd been caught, showed no panic. He merely sneered. "I didn't steal it. Search me if you don't believe me." As he spoke, his fingers darted rapidly inside his pocket. He opened the left pocket, empty. He opened his right pocket, nothing there either. Pants pockets, inner pockets, nothing at all. After the display, the guy in the baseball cap flashed a smug look. This little cop thinks he can catch me with stolen goods? Doesn't he know who I'm mixed up with? I'm at least an outer door disciple of the Freemasons. Even if it's just an outer door disciple, it's more than enough to deal with a lowly beat cop like you." Fong Ning watched the man's performance in silence, not uttering a word. A faint smile touched his lips as he narrowed his eyes, observing the man in the fisherman's hat. The fisherman's hat man's lips curled in disdain. His hands slipped naturally into his pockets, fingers brushing the money tucked inside his cuffs. Suddenly, he froze completely, veins bulging on his forehead. The money was gone. Lifting his gaze to meet Fong Ning's eyes, he instantly broke out in a cold sweat. A bone-chilling chill surged from his feet to his heart. Could it be? "Are you looking for this?" Fong Ning waved a stack of bills right in front of his face. The man in the fisherman's hat saw the money he'd just stolen now in the cop's hands, and his heart sank halfway. "Impossible. When did you steal it from me? How could this happen? You're a cop, how did you see through my trick? Are you part of the Thieves Guild too?" Fong Ning examined the money in his hand with satisfaction. It seemed the god's hand buff was indeed useful. The moment he prepared to strike, countless ingenious techniques flooded his mind as if he'd practiced them for decades, without a hint of awkwardness. "Thief my ass, I'm a cop." Fong Ning spat, then punched the fisherman's cap squarely in the gut. Crack! The sound of cracking ribs echoed as the fisherman's cap fell to the ground with a thud. Fong Ning blew on his fist, his tone matter of fact. "I told you, you'd regret it." The fisherman's cap man lay sprawled on the ground, his eyes filled with terror. Only one thought raced through his mind. You're a cop, how can your skills be better than mine? The 60,000 yuan was handed over to the old man, and the matter was resolved satisfactorily. Deeply moved, the old man clutched Fong Ning's hand, expressing endless gratitude. Upon learning Fong Ning wasn't married, he insisted on introducing his granddaughter to him. Startled, Fong Ning quickly ducked to the side, too frightened to speak. Fortunately, Zhang Feng arrived driving the bus just in time, saving Fong Ning's life. When Zhang Feng saw the dense crowd of over 30 thieves, he closed his eyes and rubbed his temples. Sigh, overtime tonight is guaranteed. With so many thieves around, Wang Ming and Lu Bo decided to play it safe and ride back to the police station together. Everything happened too fast. Only after getting on the bus did Shirichan finally process what had transpired. Wait, Fong Ning, how did you get the money from the thieves just now? Why were your moves even sharper than the thieves? Wang Ming and Lu Bo also turned to look at him curiously. Fong Ning felt a bit awkward. After opening his mouth several times, he finally blurted out. Well, it's just a hobby of mine. Chapter 21, Talent? What is talent? Inside the pedestrian street. Zhao Daqing was in a particularly good mood right now. Just moments ago, he'd caught another thief. Counting the 5 he'd caught that morning, that made 11 thieves in total. But Zhao Daqing didn't stop. His eyes scanned the surroundings with sharp vigilance. It was still early today, he was certain to break his own record. Zhao Daqing was brimming with determination. He would show Fong Ning that catching thieves wasn't about luck, it was about talent. Suddenly, he spotted several young men lurking suspiciously at the entrance of the alley ahead. Their eyes darted around restlessly, as if plotting something. Suspicious behavior meant trouble was brewing. Zhao Daqing quickened his pace to follow. Just then, the roar of an engine echoed from the alley entrance. The next second, an unlicensed black motorcycle roared out of the alley. The screech of burning tires filled the air as the bike executed a sharp tailspin turn, charging straight toward the pedestrian street. 2 figures sat atop it, their faces obscured by skull-patterned helmets. The bike accelerated wildly down the pedestrian street, sending crowds scattering in panic. Suddenly, the young man on the back seat yanked the shoulder bag from the girl beside him. The girl instantly fell to the ground, her face drained of color. Ah! Catch the thief! There's a thief! Zhao Daqing's expression tightened. A motorcycle gang? By the time he reacted and tried to chase after them, the motorcycle had vanished at the end of the pedestrian street. Disappointed, Zhao Daqing was about to call for backup when another motorcycle roared from the end of the street. It had turned around and was coming back. Looks like they're back for more bags. Damn it, how arrogant, they actually dared to come back. Zhao Daqing seized his chance. As the motorcycle approached, he sprang up and delivered a flying kick. Crash! The motorcycle crashed to the ground, flinging both riders 7 or 8 meters away. Zhao Daqing got up and clicked the handcuffs shut around the 2 youths. As dusk fell, Zhao Daqing dragged his weary body back to the station. Though physically and mentally drained, his eyes burned with renewed intensity. He had apprehended 13 thieves in a single day, shattering his own record. Not only that, but he had also recovered valuables worth 30,000 yuan on the spot. 30,000 yuan was no small sum enough to land those motorcycle gangsters several years behind bars. Zhao Daqing felt a surge of excitement. Catching 13 thieves in a single day and recovering 30,000 yuan. Such a haul would rank among the top achievements even at the precinct level. Fong Ning, I can't wait to see the look on your face when you see these thieves. Zhao Daqing grew more and more excited as he thought about it, escorting the 13 thieves into the courtyard. Though night had fallen, the courtyard was brightly lit as everyone attended to the aftermath of the capture. Zhao Daqing deliberately walked slowly with the 13 thieves in tow, allowing everyone to get a good look. Yet after walking for a long while, he noticed not a single flicker of emotion on anyone's face. They hadn't even given them a proper glance. Could it be that they saw too many people behind me and didn't recognize them as thieves? Yes, that must be it. Zhao Daqing cleared his throat twice and addressed the crowd. Still on duty? You guys really work hard. Man, today was exhausting. Busy all day and only caught 13 thieves. After speaking, he tilted his head back at a 45-degree angle to gaze skyward, his expression radiating invincible mastery. The others in the courtyard glanced up briefly before lowering their heads again, responding with, "Yes, thank you for your hard work." Hard work. After exchanging polite formalities, no one spoke further, as if they'd exhausted their supply of expressions. Zhao Daqing raised an eyebrow. What's going on? Their tone was way too flat. 13 thieves, for crying out loud. And this is their reaction? After muttering a few complaints under his breath, Zhao Daqing headed to the detention room to register them. As soon as he stepped into the detention hall corridor, Zhao Daqing spotted 3 people sweating profusely, looking visibly anxious. Approaching closer, he recognized them as Fong Ning, Shirichan, and Zhang Feng. Zhao Daqing's eyes lit up. Perfect. Everyone's here. Now I'll show you what real talent looks like. With a stride that showed no mercy, he walked calmly up to Zhang Feng. Register 13 thieves for me. He shot Fong Ning a defiant glance. Seeing no thieves behind Fong Ning, a smirk touched his lips. Can't register them now. The holding cells are full. Zhang Feng sighed and reminded Zhao Duqing. What? Are you kidding me? Zhao Duqing grew visibly annoyed. How could the detention cells possibly be full? They're huge. You're not refusing to register them just because I caught so many thieves, are you? Zhang Feng's expression darkened instantly, his temper flaring. A mere 13 thieves? Not even enough to fill a tooth gap. I said the detention cell is full, and it is. A mere 13? You think thieves are that easy to catch? Zhao Duqing remained unruffled, a hint of smugness flickering in his eyes. These 13 thieves have broken the station's record. He couldn't resist glancing at Fong Ning. Take note, catching thieves requires talent. Fong Ning's expression was peculiar. Seeing Zhao Duqing's face glowing with excitement, he hesitated to reveal the truth. Shuri-chan wanted to warn him, but the words stuck in her throat. Zhang Feng, an impatient sort, saw Zhao Duqing's boastful demeanor and instantly lost his temper. He swiftly rotated the computer 180 degrees. Watch this is what talent looks like. Zhao Duqing remained unconcerned. He didn't believe anyone in the lab could surpass his record. Not even Shi-chan. He casually glanced at the screen. The moment he made out the numbers on the screen, Zhao Duqing's face drained of color. After staring for a full 3 minutes, he mechanically pulled back, muttering to himself. Impossible. Impossible. How could Fong Ning have caught 78 thieves in a single day? When I saw you at noon, there wasn't a single thief around you. Before the two could respond, Zhang Feng spoke again. By then, Fong Ning had already caught and returned 40 thieves. In the afternoon, he caught another 38. Oh, and he helped this old man recover 60,000 yuan. With each sentence Zhang Feng uttered, Zhao Duqing's face grew paler. By now, he was completely drained of color. No wonder the colleagues in the courtyard showed no reaction to the 13 thieves. 78 thieves in a single day, plus recovering 60,000 yuan. Compared to Fong Ning, his 13 thieves weren't even worth mentioning. And here he was bragging about it in the courtyard. What a social death. Right now, Zhao Duqing wanted nothing more than to find a hole to crawl into and vanish from this world. After a long while, Zhao Duqing finally calmed down a bit. His lips trembling, he looked at Fong Ning and asked the question burning in his mind. How the hell did you do that? Fong Ning hadn't expected Zhao Duqing to ask that. After a moment's pause, his upper lip brushed his lower lip. I suppose it's just talent. Thud. Zhao Duqing collapsed straight onto the floor. Chapter 22, Running Out of Detention Cells? Zhao Duqing had run off again. He'd bolted from the Urxiankyo police station. This was the second time today. Now, his eyes were vacant as he stood on the street, utterly lost. His lips moved slightly, and faint murmurs could be heard. How could this happen? I was Urxiankyo's star pickpocket catcher. I clearly had talent. What kind of monster is Fong Ning? Zhao Duqing's resolve crumbled as he realized he and Fong Ning belonged to entirely different worlds. He caught over 70 thieves on his first day back at work. What is talent? This is talent. The thought of how he'd once arrogantly told Fong Ning to learn pickpocket catching from him made his face burn. Forget him, not even the city's top pickpocket busters would dare claim they could mentor Fong Ning. Zhao Duqing trudged along, sighing heavily, until he slowly vanished into the night. Outside Urxiankyo police station, a police car rolled slowly into the courtyard. Inside sat Lin Dashan and Kong Dongsheng. The meeting had only concluded at dusk, and the two had just rushed back from the district bureau. Lin Dashan clutched his waist, grimacing as he got out of the car, yet his eyes shone with unusual brilliance. Today's bureau meeting had given Lin Dashan a tremendous sense of vindication. Chief, Instructor, you're finally back. Why didn't you answer your phones? Zhang Feng, who was swamped with work, spotted them immediately and rushed over, speaking urgently. Phone? My phone didn't even ring. Lin Dashan pulled out his phone and realized it had automatically shut down from a dead battery. No wonder he hadn't received any calls. Kong Dongsheng pulled out his phone too, shaking his head in equal frustration. It was dead and powered off as well. Our phones died. Was it urgent? Seeing Zhang Feng drenched in sweat, Lin Dashan furrowed his brow, fearing something was wrong. Zhang Feng took a deep breath, his tone rising. Chief, our holding cells are full. There are still plenty of thieves handcuffed in the hallway right now. Lin Dashan lurched sideways, nearly straining his back, his voice dripping with skepticism. Our station's holding cells aren't plentiful, but holding 40 or 50 thieves shouldn't be a problem. Lin Dashan frowned deeply. Suddenly, his expression shifted. Could it be that Fong Ning arrested more than 30 thieves? The thought startled Lin Dashan. Catching over 30 thieves in a single day was already pushing the limits. Could Fong Ning still have more? That can't be possible. But recalling Fong Ning's track record since joining the force, Lin Dashan couldn't be entirely sure. Kong Dongsheng remained silent, his brow equally furrowed. He, too, believed Fong Ning couldn't possibly have caught any more. Catching thieves wasn't like harvesting leeks one crop after another. Zhang Feng's face was full of emotion as he nodded emphatically. Yes, Fong Ning went to the East Bus Station again this afternoon and brought back 38 thieves. He also recovered 60,000 yuan in cash on the spot. The air suddenly grew still, broken only by the hurried breathing of a few people. Seconds later, Lin Dashan suddenly bellowed, startling Kong Dongsheng. Ha! Good lad. Good. Fantastic. Where's Fong Ning? Take me to see him right now. Lin Dashan burst into laughter, his face suddenly free of all weariness. He jogged alongside Zhang Feng all the way to the detention room, showing no trace of his earlier aching back and legs. His face was beaming with uncontrollable joy, puffed up like a red balloon. Kong Dongsheng sucked in a sharp breath, once again stunned by Fong Ning's performance. That kid's got it born to be a cop. Kong Dongsheng murmured his admiration, quickening his pace to keep up with Lin Dashan. The detention room hallway was now a chaotic scene, filled with the clamor of voices. Officer, I protest. Why are they allowed into the detention room while we're handcuffed out here in the hallway? We're thieves too. We have thieves' rights. Why is this fair? We protest. This isn't fair. The thieves inside the detention room were clearly displeased. They shouted back. Where are you guys from? Don't you know the rules? What's all this noise about? Exactly. Being arrested has its order, you know? If you're so tough, why weren't you arrested before us? The words hung heavy in the air, and the thieves in the detention cell suddenly sensed something was off. They shot a suspicious glance at the young thief who had spoken up. What's he implying? That we're worse thieves and got caught earlier? The young thief realized he'd said the wrong thing and quickly covered his mouth. But he couldn't escape punishment. Someone smacked him hard on the head, and he clutched his head, yelling. Shut up, all of you. Keep making noise and I'll give him his own private cell. Fong Ning bellowed. Hearing Fong Ning's voice, both groups of thieves fell silent, terrified. Many among them had witnessed Fong Ning's methods firsthand. Damn, he took on 8 men single-handedly and didn't even get a scratch. Just as Fong Ning spoke, Zhang Feng appeared at the stairwell entrance, leading Lin Dashan. Lin Dashan beamed, waving at Fong Ning and Zhang Feng. Seeing the chief return, Fong Ning finally let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, the chief was back. If he hadn't returned, Fong Ning would have nearly lost his mind. He should have known better than to arrest so many. Fong Ning sighed heavily, completely oblivious to Shi Chan's eye rolling behind him. Fong Ning, you've worked hard today. I never expected you to improve so quickly. Ichan, you've worked hard too. You're quite the competent mentor. Lin Dashan looked at the two of them with growing satisfaction, as if they were his prized possessions. 78 thieves in a single day, that's nearly as many as the entire station caught last year. Looks like you two make a good team. I've decided from now on, you two will partner up. Ha? What? Ichan froze, clearly caught off guard by the chief's unexpected arrangement. What? Is there a problem? Lin Dashan raised his large head and asked. No, no problem. Shi-Chan glanced at Fong Ning and, as if compelled by some unseen force, agreed. Shi-Chan didn't know why he'd agreed. Even though Fong Ning never treated her to meals, was hopelessly clueless and obsessed with catching thieves. Somehow, she just couldn't bring herself to dislike him. Fong Ning showed little reaction upon learning he'd be paired with Shi-Chan, his mind still preoccupied with the gang of thieves outside. Chief, what about the thief handcuffed in the hallway? Lin Dashan waved it off dismissively. You don't need to worry about that. I've got it covered. You two have worked hard today. Go get some rest. Hearing the chief's words, both men breathed a sigh of relief. If so many thieves were left handcuffed in the hallway overnight, who knew what trouble might arise? They exchanged farewells and left the office. The door had barely closed. Fong Ning heard Lin Dashan's arrogant voice echoing from the office. Hey, old Zhang? Nothing much. Nothing much, just that the detention cells are running out of space. Wondering if you guys have any room left at Balaton. Chapter 23, Nomination for Outstanding Officer? Inside the station chief's office. Lin Dashan sprawled arrogantly across the sofa, his feet propped on the armrest as he made a call. Old Zhang? Old Zhang, why aren't you answering? Hello? I'm telling you, our station's so packed we can't hold anymore. We're desperate, can we borrow a holding cell? Old Zhang remained silent for a long while before finally grinding out a single word through clenched teeth. Get lost. Old Zhang was in a terrible mood right now. He'd just signed a military pledge at the sub-bureau that morning. But when he got back to the station that night, he saw, damn. They hadn't even met half their target. Now, hearing Lin Dashan's utterly arrogant words, he felt worse than eating. Lin Dashan was pure, unadulterated infuriating, showing absolutely no mercy toward old Zhang. Not even angered by being told to get lost, he continued unabashedly. Sigh, this rookie is such a handful. He caught 31 thieves this morning and thought the number was unlucky, insisting on rounding it up to 40. This afternoon he wasn't idle either, went to the bus station and nabbed over 30 more. Add in what the others caught, and we're already at 100. Can you believe it? Sigh, now we don't even have enough holding cells. It's driving me crazy. Old Zhang. Lin Dashan was about to continue speaking when a sudden beep sounded in his ear. That old Zhang, what a jerk. How rude to just hang up on someone like that. Lin Dashan chuckled twice, unconcerned, and dialed the Lulapu police station again. Old Lou at Lulipu was in a great mood right now because the station had exceeded its arrest quotas for thieves today. Old Lou was chatting cheerfully with everyone, constantly praising them. Everyone did a great job today, exceeding our targets. Keep up the hard work tomorrow, and I'll treat you all to a special meal at my expense. Ha! The chief is so generous. The team cheered and jumped for joy. Just then, Old Lou received a call from Lynn Dashan. Without a second thought, Old Lou answered the call in front of everyone. Hello? Old Lynn? What's up at this hour? Lynn Dashan chuckled, nothing much. We've just caught so many thieves that our detention cells are running out of space. Really? How many have you arrested? Old Lou paused for a few seconds before his voice dropped. As if anticipating the question, Lynn Dashan blurted out, 100. Old Lou fell silent again, this time for a longer stretch. Lynn Dashan showed no impatience, crossing his legs with a smug look. After what felt like an eternity, Old Lou snapped out of it, his words coming out one by one, gritting his teeth, get lost. He hung up immediately, his chest heaving as he panted heavily. He too was furious with Lynn Dashan. The young officer beside him, lacking any sense of tact, looked up and asked Old Lou out of the blue. Chief, what's for dinner tomorrow? Chicken drumsticks? Lou's face darkened further. He turned and roared. Extra food? Extra food. Extra my ass. We caught a few thieves and you expect extra food? Forget it. With that, he stormed off toward the chief's office. The door slammed shut with a bang. Hearing the dial tone on the other end of the line, Lynn Dashan's smile deepened. As everyone knows, smiles don't vanish. It merely shifts from one person's face to another's. But Lynn Dashan still felt his smile wasn't bright enough, so he called the other station chiefs. Hello? Oldly, here's the thing. We at Ankyo. Half an hour later, Lynn Dashan finally hung up the phone, still feeling unsatisfied, his face practically split from smiling so much. Today was absolutely the most satisfying day since he became chief. He'd called every single police station in the old city district. Though without exception, they hung up after just a few words and told me to get lost. But Lynn Dashan couldn't care less. He wasn't borrowing the detention room at all, he was purely showing off. After flipping through his phone again and confirming all station chiefs had been notified, Lynn Dashan finally dialed the last number at a leisurely pace. The call was directed to the deputy chief, Gao Tongwei. Meanwhile, at the old city district bureau, Gao Tongwei, having wrapped up a day of meetings, hadn't clocked out yet. He remained seated in his office, handling paperwork. Weariness etched his brow, and only after several gulps of strong tea did he feel slightly more alert. There was no way around it, the pressure from higher-ups was immense, and he hadn't slept well for several nights. Suddenly, the phone by his desk rang. It was Lynn Dashan calling. Gao Tongwei looked puzzled. Hadn't the meeting just ended? Why was he calling now? Hello, Dashan. What's up? Lynn Dashan's slightly hoarse voice came through the line. Nothing major, Director. Just a small favor I need your help with. Gao Tongwei sighed and rubbed his temples hard. Go ahead. What is it? I'll listen first. Lynn Dashan chuckled, his voice practically bursting with excitement. We've rounded up so many crooks, the clubhouse can't hold them all anymore. Need backup, boss. Gao Tongwei shot up from his chair, startled, wondering if he'd misheard. He quickly asked. No room? How many thieves have you arrested? He never imagined the station chief would tell him the police station's holding cells were full. This was truly a first for him. Not many, not many. Just 100. Lynn Dashan's tone remained calm. 100. Gao Tongwei froze in place, his mouth agape. What's going on? At the meeting this morning, it was only over 30. How did it jump to 100 in just one afternoon? Have the thieves in the old city collectively lost their minds? How did they become so easy to catch? Fearing his superior hadn't heard clearly, Lynn Dashan repeated over the phone. Fong Ning alone apprehended 78 thieves. The rest were caught by other officers at the station. Boss, we're completely overwhelmed here. You've got to figure something out. Oh, and make sure to credit the arrests to our station. I've got it all recorded. Gao Tongwei sucked in a sharp breath, his eyes widening in disbelief. Fong Ning again. 78 criminals in a single day? Absolutely terrifying. On his first day, he apprehended a wanted criminal. The next day, he caught over 50 thieves. What kind of monster is this? In all his years on the force, he'd seen his share of geniuses, but someone as relentless as Fong Ning? This was a first. As this thought crossed his mind, a sudden decision formed in his heart. Oh, and Chief, Fong Ning also helped the victims recover their stolen property this afternoon, exactly 60,000 yuan. Seeing his superior remain silent, Lynn Dashan blurted out another remark. Gao Tongwei swayed slightly, grabbed the corner of the desk for support, and took a deep breath. Got it. I'll handle it. Send the extra thieves to the municipal bureau. After hanging up, Gao Tongwei sat motionless in his chair. After deep contemplation, he pulled a document from his drawer and wrote 2 words on it, Fong Ning. The document's cover bore neat red characters. Nominees for Spring City's Outstanding Police Officers. Chapter 24, Operation Commander? Pay extra? By the time he left the station chief's office, night had fallen. Fong Ning boarded the usual Route 8 bus home. Gazing out the window at the city lights beginning to twinkle, the tension that had gripped his nerves all day gradually eased. With over half an hour left before reaching home, Fong Ning activated the system interface. Host, Fong Ning. Strength 20 average human 10. Stamina 20 average human 10. Speed 20 average human 10. Current buffs, Fist of Truth, Eye of Reality, Hand of God. Justice points, 7,800. Seeing his justice points had reached 7,800, Fong Ning's lips curved into a smile. 7,800 justice points meant he could draw the lottery many more times. No one could resist the lure of the lottery, and Fong Ning was no exception. Gotcha! Fong Ning silently chanted in his mind. The next second, a red virtual wheel appeared before his eyes, spinning slowly. Fong Ning stared intently at the wheel, not blinking once, his heart yearning for a god-tier buff. Truth's Fist and Eye of Truth were obvious choices, and the new skill, Divine Hand, was also incredibly powerful. When he just slipped 60,000 yuan from the thief's pocket without a sound, the thief's horrified expression had given Fong Ning a real thrill. Seconds later, the wheel finally came to a halt. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Fong Ning's lips curled in a sneer. Without hesitation, he activated a 10 pull. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your purchase. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained Physical Constitution Spinach 1. Ding, thank you for your purchase. 10 consecutive draws ended, and I only got one physical spinach. Fong Ning's face flushed red as he clenched his fists tightly. This system's win rate is way too low, a 10 pull, and I only got one physical spinach. Glancing at the remaining 5,600 justice points, Fong Ning closed his eyes and went all in. The crimson wheel spun instantly, and soon, system notifications chimed one after another. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained Physical Constitution Spinach 1. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained one Physical Constitution Spinach. Ding, congratulations, host, on obtaining the God of Autumn Name Mountain buff. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, congratulations, host, on obtaining the Eye of Truth buff. Already possessed. Damn it. Fong Ning cursed inwardly, his face creased with frustration. So much justice points, and all I got was one buff and 3 servings of spinach. The drop rate is way too low. And what the hell does already owned mean? Could it mean you can draw buffs you already possess? This system is such a ripoff. Suppressing his heartache, Fong Ning quickly checked the new buff he'd drawn. God of Mount Akina buff, host gains peak driving skills. P.S. Mount Akina? Isn't that the beginner map? God of Mount Akina? This is gonna make me punch Fujiwara Takumi and kick Takahashi Ryosuke. Ha ha. System generated, truly top-notch. Fong Ning's mood instantly lifted. With this buff, it didn't seem like such a bad deal after all. Seeing 3 unused physical spinach boosts remaining, Fong Ning decided to activate them all at once. A wave of heat surged through his body, making him feel fiery hot all over, far more intense than last time. After a dozen seconds, the burning sensation on his body gradually subsided, and Fong Ning immediately felt the changes in his physique. His once bulky muscles had begun to slowly shrink, making him appear at first glance like a weakling incapable of lifting a finger. Yet Fong Ning could distinctly feel explosive power surging within his body. It felt as though all his physical strength had been compressed within him, ready to surge forth explosively at the slightest thought. Glancing at the metal handrail beside him, Fong Ning couldn't resist giving it a light squeeze. The metal railing instantly dented, leaving 2 fingerprints. Fong Ning's pupils contracted in surprise. He hadn't realized his strength was this immense. He opened the system interface again. Host, Fong Ning. Strength 50 average human 10. Stamina 50 average human 10. Speed 50 average human 10. Current buffs, Fist of Truth, Eye of Reality, Hand of God, God of Mount Akina. Justice value, 0. Seeing the astonishing strength of 50, Fong Ning sucked in a sharp breath. His strength was already 5 times that of an adult. No wonder he could leave fingerprints on metal railings. Justice value reset to 0. The system lottery concluded just as the bus pulled into the station. After getting off the bus and grabbing a quick dinner, he collapsed onto the bed and fell asleep instantly, soon snoring loudly enough to shake the heavens. The night passed without incident. Early the next morning, Fong Ning boarded the number 8 bus punctually, heading toward Urxiankyo police station. Again, he arrived 5 minutes before 9, but this time the courtyard was packed with people. Lin Dashan stood among the crowd, greeting everyone with a cheerful expression. Shuri-chan stood beside the station chief, dressed in full police uniform today. Her every gesture radiated a commanding presence, giving her a unique charm. Zhao Duqing stood alone on the sidelines, his expression somewhat vacant, seemingly still reeling from yesterday's blow. Spotting Fong Ning, Lin Dashan's face lit up with even greater warmth. He waved eagerly toward Fong Ning. Fong Ning, over here. Come on over. Good morning, Chief. Fong Ning approached, his face breaking into a wide grin. Lin Dashan nodded approvingly, growing increasingly satisfied with his protégé. Good-natured, polite, and skilled at catching thieves. Simply perfect. Seeing everyone assembled, Lin Dashan dropped his smile and adopted a stern tone. Form ranks. Standing before the group, Lin Dashan spoke slowly. Everyone performed exceptionally well yesterday. The station apprehended a total of 100 thieves. That breaks the city record. This achievement wouldn't have been possible without one person's dedication. Fong Ning. Lin Dashan pointed his right hand toward Fong Ning. Fong Ning apprehended 78 thieves yesterday and recovered 60,000 yuan in cash on the spot. He is our station's hero. I hereby appoint Fong Ning as the overall commander for this apprehension operation, responsible for all coordination and deployment. The moment the words left his mouth, jaws dropped across the room. Overall commander. The commander has the authority to mobilize all mobile police forces. That's a lot of power. Everyone knew the chief valued Fong Ning, but no one expected such high regard. Though stunned, no one questioned the decision. After all, who could arrest 78 thieves in a single day? Shuri-chan froze upon hearing the news, staring intently at Fong Ning. He hadn't realized the chief held such high expectations for him. Zhao Duqing's eyes flashed with determination upon hearing this, but he quickly lowered his head, acutely aware of the vast gap between himself and Fong Ning. Fong Ning, however, was utterly bewildered. What was going on? How had he become the commander-in-chief without even being notified? Lin Dashan, seeing Fong Ning's dazed expression, mistook it for being moved. He patted Fong Ning's shoulder gently. Fong Ning, do a good job. Don't let my trust in you down. With things having progressed this far, refusing now would be awkward. Gritting his teeth, Fong Ning replied. Director, I guarantee we'll complete the mission. Lin Dashan nodded approvingly, his eyes brimming with admiration. But the next second, Fong Ning changed the subject. Commander, can we get a raise? Chapter 25, Sudden Situation. Silver Van. Commander-in-Chief, can we get a raise? Fong Ning blinked her big, wide eyes, looking at Lin Dashan expectantly. Shuri-chan discreetly curled her lips in a sneer, muttering under her breath, not only stingy, but a money-grubbing miser. The rest of the station sucked in their breath. Fong Ning was truly a legendary warrior. She was the first person to ever ask the chief for a raise. Lin Dashan rubbed his temples, looking utterly helpless. This kid is no ordinary tiger, he's the real deal. Raise your pay? Get moving and catch those thieves. I've already made it clear the entire task force is under your command. Lin Dashan's eyes twinkled, and a faint smile involuntarily curved his lips. With this many people under you, catching 100 or so thieves a day should be no problem, right? Fong Ning's vision went black, his face plastered with a huge question mark. So many people? Including himself, there were only a dozen or so. Where would he find that many? Terrified by the suggestion, Fong Ning hastily waved his hands. Chief, this task is too daunting. I'm afraid I won't be able to pull it off. Lin Dashan seemed oblivious, his tone flat and matter-of-fact. If the mission is accomplished, I could apply for some bonus funds. Reporting to the chief. I guarantee we'll complete the mission. No sooner had Lin Dashan finished speaking than Fong Ning snapped to attention with a sharp salute, his eyes burning with resolve. Everyone. Lin Dashan nodded with a smile, his expression clearly satisfied. He'd figured it out. When it came to boosting Fong Ning's motivation, money was the surefire way to go. Is this kid that strapped for cash? No good. I need to push for that second-class merit bonus. After the morning briefing, Lin Dashan returned to his office, leaving only the members of the anti-theft task force behind. The squad, numbering less than 10, now fixed their eyes expectantly on Fong Ning, awaiting his orders. It was true that in his previous life, Fong Ning had been a gang leader, but his underlings back then were uneducated, undisciplined thugs. He'd never held a position of authority before. Seeing everyone staring at him expectantly, he froze in place for a moment. Thus, a bizarre scene unfolded. A dozen people stood frozen in the courtyard, staring at each other in utter silence, the scene unbearably awkward. Shuri-chan was the first to crack. Rolling her eyes at Fong Ning, she snapped. Hey, Commander Fong, say something. We can't just stand here forever. Fong Ning snapped back to reality with an awkward smile. After a moment's thought, he finally spoke. I'm still inexperienced, so I'll lead Sister Chan and Zhang Feng on random patrols for now. Duqing has the most experience, so he'll serve as deputy leader and lead the others on patrol. If any emergencies arise, contact us immediately. No sooner had the words left his mouth than Zhao Duqing, lurking in the corner, abruptly looked up, his eyes brimming with disbelief. He never imagined Fong Ning would appoint him as deputy captain, overwhelmed by both surprise and embarrassment. Despite his repeated hostility toward Fong Ning, not only did Fong hold no grudge, but he had even appointed him as deputy leader. Thinking this, Zhao Duqing looked at Fong Ning with deep admiration, his voice trembling with emotion. Roger that. Mission accomplished. Fong Ning nodded with satisfaction. His success in catching thieves relied entirely on the true eye. In terms of experience, Zhao Duqing far surpassed him. Having him lead the team while he took it easy, how much more comfortable could it get? Assignments complete, everyone set off toward their respective target areas. Outside the jewelry trading market, Fang Ning, accompanied by Shi Richan and Zhang Feng, pulled the bus up outside the main gate. The bus was Lin Dashan's handiwork. He'd shamelessly begged the district chief for it, claiming there were too many thieves to transport. Fang Ning activated his true sight, spotting a dense cluster of red dots swarming toward the jewelry market. His face lit up. Sister Chan, Brother Feng, once we're inside the market, follow my orders and start rounding up suspects. All right. Neither objected. They'd both witnessed Fang Ning's prowess in catching thieves and now trusted him unconditionally. Entering the jewelry market, Fang Ning positioned himself at the very center, while Shi Richan and Zhang Feng spread out along the outer perimeter. Sister Chan, the woman in the red dress at your 3 o'clock position, subdue her. Brother Feng, turn around, there's a middle-aged man in his 40s behind you. He's the thief. Fang Ning directed the arrests through his earpiece while staying busy himself. Whenever a red dot approached, he'd rush over and handcuff them. The team worked with remarkable efficiency, apprehending nearly 30 thieves in no time. But the good times didn't last. An hour later, the pace of catching thieves visibly slowed. It wasn't that they were catching them slower, there simply weren't any more thieves left in the jewelry market. Thieves aren't stupid. Seeing their colleagues getting handcuffed one by one, they immediately sensed something was off. Combined with yesterday's rumors of mass arrests at the jewelry market, they instantly realized the police had stepped up their game. One by one, they simply fled the jewelry market to seek their fortune elsewhere. On Fang Ning's end, after carefully confirming there were no red dots within the true eye's range, he shook his head, sighed, and spoke into his earpiece. Everyone, come back. The thieves in the jewelry market have all been caught. Zhang Feng, who had been enjoying the arrests, felt a pang of disappointment upon hearing the market was empty of thieves. Seeing Fang Ning catch so many thieves yesterday had already made him itch to get his hands dirty. Little did he know he'd be assigned to catch thieves today, and it felt amazing. No need to think, Fang Ning pointed, and he grabbed. Every target was a sure hit. Only when Fang Ning declared the market clear did he finally calm down, though a sense of unreality lingered. He never imagined the jewelry market would ever be free of thieves, truly a sight to behold. Shi Richan, however, felt nothing. She was numb. The sheer number of thieves had lost all meaning to her. Ever since witnessing Fang Tian catch 78 thieves in a single day, today's haul barely registered. After herding the thieves onto the bus, the group counted them exactly 30, not one more or less. The precinct bus had been modified, with 2 rows of steel pipes added along both sides of the seats to secure handcuffs. The criminals' faces were ashen, etched with regret. Yesterday they'd heard rumors about a tough guy hitting the jewelry market, taking down over 40 of their own in one fell swoop. Yet they stubbornly refused to believe it, dismissing it as mere bragging. They couldn't believe Chuncheng had cops that badass taking down 40 in one go? Like Black Cat Police Chief was still around? Yet reality proved brutally harsh. Not only had the police arrived, but they were exceptionally formidable. Fang Dui, where do we go next? Zhang Feng sat in the driver's seat, his eyes gleaming. Even his address had changed, now calling him squad leader. Fang Ning pondered for a few seconds, then shook his head. It's still early. Let's take this batch back to the station first. Got it. Zhang Feng acknowledged the order and started the bus, heading back toward Erxian Bridge. The old city streets were narrow, and the bus crawled along at less than 60 kilometers per hour. Squeal. The bus came to a gradual stop, waiting for the green light. Fang Ning leaned back in his seat, eyes closed, pondering where to catch the thief next. Suddenly, he spotted a silver van parked in the right lane. From the bus's elevated vantage point, Fang Ning immediately noticed the driver's tense expression, his eyes darting repeatedly to the rearview mirror. He activated true sight and nearly jumped out of his seat. The 2 red dots on the right were intensely bright. Almost as intense as the scorpions. Judging by the position, they belonged to the people in the van. Just then, the light turned green. The van floored it and sped off, leaving behind a cloud of exhaust. Fang Ning sprang to his feet. Chase that silver van. Something's wrong. Chapter 26, Confirming Identity. Extremely dangerous suspect. Both men froze at Fang Ning's words. Zhang Feng tilted his head, hesitating to speak. Fang, this is a bus. The 2 in the van are likely fugitives. Fang Ning's expression turned stern as he barked at Zhang Feng. Don't worry about that. Chase them. Seeing Fang Ning's stern expression, Zhang Feng's face suddenly changed. He still remembered Fang Ning's astonishing performance apprehending an A-level fugitive on his first day on the job. He didn't doubt a word Fang Ning said now. Everything happened too fast. The green light had only been on for 3 seconds. Zhang Feng hesitated no longer, slamming his foot down hard on the accelerator. The bus roared to life, its speed noticeably increasing. Up ahead. Catch up. Fang Ning spotted the van ahead, not far off, moving at a leisurely pace. Got it. Zhang Feng's expression turned serious as he downshifted and gave the accelerator another kick. The bus hesitated briefly before picking up speed again. After overtaking several other vehicles, the group finally caught sight of the minivan again. But just as they could make out the minivan's license plate, the vehicle ahead suddenly sped up as if it had spotted something. Damn it, we've probably been spotted. Keep chasing. Damn it. Watching the red dot gradually fade into the distance, Fong Ning's expression darkened. Sure, Yichan and Zhang Feng also looked uneasy. The people in that van were definitely up to no good. Why else would they panic upon seeing the bus? Why the sudden rush? The van kept accelerating, pulling further and further away from the bus. Zhang Feng's brow furrowed tightly, his palms sweating profusely as he stared intently at the van ahead. The bus was now hitting 80 km/h. Driving at 80 km/h on these streets in the old city was already extremely fast. Fortunately, they were now in a green wave section with no red lights. Otherwise, the bus would have been left behind by the van in no time. Damn it, there must be something wrong with them who drives this fast unless they're suicidal. As the minivan grew farther and farther away, Zhang Feng cursed under his breath. Just then, the group's radios simultaneously received a message. Attention all units, attention all units. Urgent notice. Urgent notice. All personnel on duty, closely monitor a silver minivan with license plate ending in 828. Repeat. Silver van with license plate ending in 828. Suspected dangerous criminal inside. Report immediately upon encounter. The radio crackled with several messages in quick succession, all pointing to one vehicle. The minivan with license plate ending in 828. Shirichan's expression changed abruptly, his eyes widening in disbelief. A van? Could it be the white van they're chasing? It's highly likely that silver van up ahead close in on it. Just get the license plate number. Shirichan's tone was firm as he instantly grasped the gravity of the situation. Zhang Feng shuddered at the thought of potential threats inside the van ahead. His face flushed visibly and his foot pressed harder on the accelerator. The engine roared continuously as the bus surged forward several meters. The bus accelerated rapidly, quickly reaching 90 miles per hour. The distance to the van closed rapidly. At 90 km/h, weaving through city streets, the gangsters in the rear were suffering. Shackled to steel pipes, their wrists turned blue as the handcuffs jerked violently left and right with every sharp turn of the bus. Finally unable to endure it, they voiced their complaints. Officer, this is a city area. Driving this fast is illegal. Just you wait, I'm reporting you. Unlock these handcuffs. My wrists are about to snap. This is how I make my living. Where are you even going? We're almost out of the city. What are you doing? I'm filing a complaint. Hearing this, Fong Ning's expression darkened. Still talking so much with your hands cuffed? Think you're on vacation? Shut up. One more word and I'll hang you from the truck. Fong Ning radiated pure authority as he glared fiercely at the gang of thieves behind him. The thieves fell instantly silent. The van accelerated faster and faster. Zhang Feng's right foot trembled slightly, whether from excitement or fear, he couldn't tell. Finally, they caught a clear glimpse of the minivan's license plate. The last three digits were indeed 828. Confirming it was the van reported by their superiors, their eyes brimmed with excitement. Brother Feng, keep up the speed. Sister Chan, call the chief, we've located the suspects. Just moments before Fong Ning and his team received the radio transmission. Inside the old city precinct conference room, an emergency meeting was underway. The atmosphere was tense. Gao Tongwei looked grim as he stated solemnly. This case is rather complex. Let Captain Zhou from the Criminal Investigation Division brief everyone. Zhou Sun nodded and got straight to the point. 3 days ago, we received intelligence that led us to 2 suspects from out of town. To cut to the chase, these suspects are not only involved in human trafficking but may also be linked to organ trafficking. At these words, the expressions of everyone present turned grave. Human trafficking. Organ trafficking. These are extremely heinous criminal offenses. Such crimes are typically orchestrated by organized criminal syndicates with clear objectives. The sums involved are enormous, the number of people implicated is vast, and solving these cases is incredibly difficult. After speaking, Zhou Sun glanced at the group. Seeing their solemn expressions, he continued. Intelligence indicates the 2 came to Spring City for a meeting and transaction, but the exact location and method remain unknown. Our team maintains surveillance without making any rash moves, but something went wrong somewhere. The suspects managed to shake off our tail in their vehicle. After days of surveillance and investigation, we've pinpointed their location near the old city district. The group below the podium furrowed their brows, processing the information as quickly as possible. Lin Dashan frowned and asked, Old Zhou, you didn't call us here just to analyze the case, did you? What do you need us to do? Zhou Sun nodded and projected the screen from his computer. A surveillance screenshot appeared on the large screen. 2 figures walked down the street, one in front and one behind, both with their heads down. The front figure had a well-proportioned build, their right ear adorned with a cluster of glittering gold studs. The face of the person behind was obscured, though a faint poker symbol could be discerned on their collarbone. Zhou Sun pointed at the 2 and began. The guy with the earrings is Yu Bin, from northeast China. He has a criminal record and was a famous race car driver before he went to prison. The man in the back with the poker tattoo has unknown information, but he's likely the earring guy's superior. Jo-sun's expression darkened as he spoke, his voice growing urgent. The latest intel indicates they'll complete the transaction within the next couple of days. If the deal goes through, we may never catch them again. Additionally, there's another crucial lead. The suspects are driving a silver van with license plate number 828. I'm counting on you all. Jo-sun stood up and bowed to the group. Gao Tongwei stopped Jo-sun, his tone stern. We will fully cooperate with the Municipal Bureau's operation. Immediately deploy field officers to screen suspicious individuals. Yes. The team members looked solemn, realizing the gravity of the situation. Each promptly relayed the orders. Soon, all field officers in the Old City District received the investigative assistance notice. Just as they were discussing next steps, Lin Dashan's phone suddenly rang. Shuri-chan? Lin Dashan frowned, hung up, and planned to return the call after the meeting. But the next second, 3 consecutive text messages arrived from Shuri-chan. Spotted silver van with license plate ending in 828. Requesting backup. Silver van with license plate ending in 828 spotted. Requesting backup. Silver van with license plate ending in 828 spotted. Requesting backup. Chapter 27, no problem, I've already caught up to it. Meanwhile, after confirming the vehicle contained the suspects, Zhang Feng suddenly put his foot down, driving the bus relentlessly toward the van. Inside the van, the earring-wearing man chuckled while driving. Bro, you're being way too cautious. It's just a bus, right? Maybe it's just going our way, it can't be the cops. The man called Kai sat in the passenger seat, a distinct Jack of Spades tattoo etched on his neck. He shook his head at the remark. This deal is crucial. The organization is paying close attention. Better to be safe than sorry. At the mention of the organization, the earring-wearing man's expression shifted. A flicker of fear crossed his eyes as he glanced uncomfortably to the side. One glance was all it took. Suddenly, they spotted a bus tailing them. Damn! The bus has been tailing us all along. The earring-wearing man sat bolt upright, his eyes fixed intently on the bus behind them, his voice trembling slightly. Brother Kai, could it be the cops? The poker-faced man in the passenger seat snapped his eyes open, his gaze hardening with ruthlessness. Whoever they are, shake them off. Weren't you a race car driver before? A crappy bus? Like it could catch up to you? The earring guy calmed down after hearing this, glancing back at the bus with a cold smirk. If they want to chase me, let's see if they've got what it takes. With that, his right hand swiftly shifted gears while his feet worked the pedals, flooring the accelerator. The van spewed billowing black smoke and shot forward with a whoosh. Its speed skyrocketed, hitting 100 km/h in an instant. Watching the bus slowly fade behind him, the studded ear man's lips curled in disdain. If you want to catch me, practice for another 10 years. Inside the bus, Bong Ning's heart skipped a beat as he watched the van accelerate relentlessly. He's trying to shake us off. Brother Feng, step on it. Zhang Feng's forehead veins bulged, his eyes bloodshot from prolonged high-speed driving. His voice trembled as he replied to Fong Ning. No way. This is the absolute limit in the city. As the van was about to vanish from sight, Fong Ning gritted his teeth. Pull over up ahead. I'll take over. Zhang Feng nodded without protest. The intense high-speed chase had already drained him mentally and physically, and he was on the verge of collapse. The bus slowed to a stop. Fong Ning leapt into the driver's seat and buckled his seatbelt. The moment his hands touched the steering wheel, Fong Ning's entire body shuddered. The bus before his eyes instantly disintegrated in his mind, revealing every intricate component laid bare before him. From the simplest drifting and tire-burning maneuvers to the profound principles of fluid dynamics and the art of achieving perfect harmony between driver and vehicle. A vast array of automotive driving techniques surged into his mind. A sharp gleam flashed in Fong Ning's eyes as he swiftly deactivated the air conditioning and ventilation controls, closed the sunroof, and switched to manual driving mode. A sharp, ear-piercing screech of burning rubber erupted as thick black smoke billowed from the tires. The next second, the bus shot forward like a rocket, its tires erupting with astonishing friction the moment they touched the road. The bus shot forward like a blade. Shuri-chan and Zhang Feng were instantly pinned back into their seats, the powerful force of the acceleration sending shivers down their spines. They turned to Fong Ning, their eyes filled with utter astonishment. Was this force of inertia really coming from a bus? The bandits in the rear weren't so fortunate. One by one, they were instantly crushed together by inertia, their cries of pain filling the air. What the hell are you doing? Ouch. That hurts like hell. Is this how you drive? Slow down, man. This is a bus, not a race car. The thieves were nearly in tears. Getting caught was bad enough, but now they had to race the cops? Who could they complain to about this injustice? After taking the wheel, Fong Ning steadily increased the bus's speed, quickly reaching 100 km/h. But even then, he didn't slow down. The speed kept climbing steadily. The scenery outside the window flew by rapidly, one car after another left far behind. A few minutes later, the silver van reappeared in his line of sight. Just then, Lin Dashan's call came through. Shuri-chan quickly answered and put it on speaker. Lin Dashan's anxious voice came through. Hello? Ichan, confirm it's the van with the 828 license plate? Where are you? Shuri-chan glanced at the road sign, quickly pinpointed their location, and hurriedly replied. Confirmed. It's the silver van with the 828 license plate. We're on the east extension of Hepping Road, tailing the van right now. The van spotted us. It's moving fast, we almost lost it. Request backup. There was a 2-second silence on the other end before a hoarse male voice answered Jo-sun's voice. Hold your position. I've notified all major intersections to set up roadblocks. Our units are already en route. As if suddenly remembering something, Jo-sun added. One of the suspects is a former race car driver. Pursue them aggressively while prioritizing your safety. If possible, hold out for 10 minutes. Our team will be there in 10 minutes. With the phone on speaker, Fong Ning recognized Jo-sun's voice and nodded. Got it. I've got him in my sights. Jo-sun froze on the other end, startled by the familiar tone. He quickly asked. Who's driving? You've got the van in your sights? What's your current speed? Shuri-chan glanced at the speedometer and saw it had already shot up to 110 km/h. Her heart skipped a beat. Fong Ning's driving. We're already at 110 and still accelerating. Jo-sun froze at the name. Fong Ning? He remembered him well. It was Fong Ning who had caught Scorpion. Who knew he wasn't just skilled at catching criminals but also had such impressive driving skills? Such talent wasted as a beat cop. After this operation, I'm definitely coming over. Gao Tongwei's head snapped up at the mention of Fong Ning's name, his eyes filled with utter disbelief. He never imagined this case would be connected to Fong Ning again. Nominating Fong Ning for the Outstanding Officer Award was definitely the right call. This guy never fails to surprise. But just then, Lin Dashan suddenly roared. Wait, what kind of vehicle is Fong Ning driving? Driving that beat-up city bureau bus to the 110 station? He must be out of his mind. Hearing that Fong Ning had actually driven the municipal bureau's bus through the city to the 110 station left Lin Dashan completely shaken. That bus was one he'd personally requested from Chief Gao. He knew its condition all too well. It might be okay for hauling criminals, but for speeding? Suddenly, Lin Dashan's face paled, his voice trembling. Ichan, is there a criminal on board? Hearing the station chief's roar, Shuri-chan finally felt a wave of dread wash over her. Now, hearing the chief's question and glancing at the dense crowd of thieves in the back, her eye twitched. Yeah, we've got 30 thieves on board. Hearing this, everyone in the conference room gasped in shock. Hauling 30 thieves around while driving in 110 in the city? That's insane. Gao Tongwei could no longer sit still. He knew that bus all too well. The bus had been in service for years and was nearly scrapped. Thinking the branch wouldn't need it, they gave it to Lin Dashan. If Fong Ning were to get into an accident driving it, it would be a huge loss for the precinct. With that thought, Gao Tongwei snatched the phone. Fong Ning. Know your limits, don't act impulsively. Fong Ning flashed his signature white teeth and replied softly. No problem, I've already caught up to it. Chapter 28, Who says a bus can't drift? Meanwhile, the earring-wearing man in the van executed a series of fluid maneuvers, quickly outpacing the bus. After confirming several times that the bus hadn't followed, the pierced guy puckered his lips, blew on his hair, and gave a devilish grin. What a bore. I haven't even pushed myself yet, and they're already done for. So, Kai, how's my driving? Pretty impressive, huh? The poker-faced man glanced at the rearview mirror again. After confirming the bus was completely out of sight, his expression eased slightly, though he remained vigilant, his tone stern. Something feels off. My gut's in knots. This doesn't sit right with me. The guy with the earring, however, didn't seem to care at all. He dismissed it with a sneer. That beat up us? If it could catch up to me, I'd turn myself in. No sooner had the words left his mouth than a roar of engines echoed, followed by a thunderous crash. The van was slammed forward several meters. The earring guy slammed into the steering wheel from the force of the impact, blood gushing instantly. The poker-faced guy wasn't faring much better either. The violent impact hurled him forward, the seatbelt digging into his chest so tightly he could barely breathe. Damn it! Who the hell is that? Can't they drive properly? The earring guy touched his bleeding forehead. Seeing his hand covered in blood, he instantly flew into a rage, whirling around to yell angrily at the rear. But when he turned around, his face froze in utter disbelief, as if he'd seen a ghost. The vehicle that had hit him was none other than the very bus he had been cursing. The poker guy fell silent, his face darkening to the point it seemed like water could drip from it as he stared at the bus behind him. He knew he was being targeted. There was only one way out, shake off the bus. Turning to the blood-soaked earring man, the poker-faced man's rage boiled over. He slapped him hard across the face. Damn it! Didn't you say the bus couldn't catch up? Open your damn eyes. Look behind us. What is that? What is it? Get moving, you bastard. If this mission fails, you know the organization's punishment. The earring guy, who'd been seething a second ago, froze instantly at the poker guy's words. A bone-chilling coldness washed over him. He was just a peripheral driver for the organization, knowing little. But he knew one thing: the organization was powerful, and its punishments were endless. He'd seen several burly men dragged away, only to return emaciated, skin stretched taut over their bones. They lay in bed for a full month before recovering. The studded earring man shuddered, unable to bear thinking about it further. His gaze shifted to the bus behind them, his eyes flashing with madness. Come on then, let's see if you're afraid of death. Inside the bus. Ah! Stop! We're going to crash. Crash! Accompanied by Shi Chan's shrieks, the bus and minivan slammed into each other violently. Shiakin's phone was instantly flung away by the force of the impact, its screen going black. Witnessing the bus collide with the van with her own eyes, her heart began pounding violently with the impact. In a 110 km/h urban zone, Fong Ning actually drove the bus into the van. Her face drained of color, and a faint regret washed over her for letting Fong Ning drive. The orders were to follow the suspects, not run them over. Zhang Feng beside her wasn't feeling much better either. Already exhausted, he gripped the handrails with such force his knuckles turned white. His throat was parched as he stammered out. Fong Ning, be careful. We have to prioritize safety. Fong Ning didn't turn around, his eyes fixed unwaveringly on the van ahead. Seeing the van accelerate once more, it visibly pulled away from the bus. Meanwhile, the bus's speedometer had climbed to 115. He's got some skills, no wonder he's a race car driver. Fong Ning marveled inwardly, then turned to Shi Chan and Zhang Feng with a serious expression. Hold on tight, I'm accelerating. Hearing Fong Ning's words, the two nearly blacked out, almost fainting on the spot. Accelerate? What was that earlier then? We're already going 110 km/h. How much faster can you possibly go? This is the city, not some deserted wasteland, for crying out loud. Shi Chan and Zhang Feng exchanged glances, seeing fear in each other's eyes. They were about to speak up to stop him. The next instant, an unimaginable force slammed them back into their seats. The sudden weightlessness made them dizzy, leaving them speechless. The criminals in the back of the car turned deathly pale. They'd never seen anything like this before. The rapidly flashing scenery outside the window turned their faces green with terror. They huddled in their seats, eyes shut tight, too terrified to make a sound, forgetting the pain of their wrists being choked. For the first time, they longed intensely for the detention cells at the police station. Compared to this, the detention cell felt like paradise. Fong Ning, seated in the driver's seat, wore a stern expression as he pushed the engine to its limits. His pupils dilated with excitement, gleaming brighter than ever. The peak driving skills granted by the autumn-named mountain god buff awakened every dormant, rebellious gene within him. His eyes blazed with excitement as he stared at the van, as if it were prey. Prey about to be caught. An utterly absurd scene unfolded on the city streets. A silver van sped ahead, weaving relentlessly through traffic, overtaking 3 or 4 cars every second on average. Tailgating the van, a bus clung tightly to its rear, weaving just as nimbly through the traffic. Ahead of the van, the driver of an 8-lane vehicle slowly approached the platform with the right turn signal on. Less than 2 meters remained to the platform. The next second, a silver van shot through the gap with a whoosh, creating a wake of air. The bus driver slammed on the brakes, watching the van speed away. Furious, he cursed. Damn it! Driving that fast, you must be in a hurry to meet your maker. After cursing, the driver checked his rearview mirror again, preparing to adjust his position. Just then, a black bus roared toward the bus. Less than 10 meters away. The driver's face instantly drained of color as he slowly closed his eyes. Whoosh! The bus narrowly skimmed past the left side of the 8-lane vehicle, the rush of air snapping the driver's eyes open. His eyes widened in shock, his lips trembling so violently he couldn't speak. Phew! Must have been a bad dream. I actually saw a bus speeding like that. Inside the precinct meeting room. The sudden hang-up from Shi-chan sent a chill through the room. No one knew what had happened. Lin Dashan immediately panicked, turning to rush out the door. Chief, the surveillance cameras along Happing Road are now calibrated and ready for viewing. Just then, the support staff finished calibrating the feed and projected it onto the large screen. Lin Dashan's footsteps halted as his gaze fixed on the display. The screen rapidly switched between camera feeds, quickly pinpointing the location of the silver van. From the aerial view. On Happing Road at that moment, a silver van with white spots darted and weaved, fleeing upward. Beneath the white dot, a blinding black line pursued relentlessly. The black line pursued the white dot relentlessly, like a cat chasing a mouse. The bulky bus not only failed to lose the minivan but kept pace with it. Spectators even experienced the illusion that the black bus was more agile than the van. Witnessing this scene, everyone sucked in their breath. After all, the other driver was a retired professional racer behind the wheel of a nimble van. Fong Ning was driving a bus, yet not only had he not been left behind, but the two were neck and neck. What was going on? Zhou Sun's eyes burned with intensity. Seeing the bus tailing the van, he suddenly laughed aloud. Way to go! Our people will be here soon. They won't get away. Hearing Joseon's words, everyone felt a slight sense of relief. But just then, the silver van suddenly executed a sharp tailspin and U-turn, plunging straight onto the service road. Judging by its direction, it was heading straight for Jioding Mountain. The group's expressions turned grim.